Hello, everybody, and welcome back for episode number 33. Today's topic is going to be anal probes.
Just anal? Why not probing? Is that the focus? Anuses?
Well, get your mind out of the gutter.
You said anal.
Alien anal probing.
But you still...
I said anal probe, but it's going to be alien.
But you can probe from different places.
I know, but the biggest topic is anal probing by aliens.
Literally, I thought you were going to talk about probing, not just...
Well,
the focus should not be on anuses.
I'm sorry. That's not going to be the total focus is anal probing, but probing by aliens. How about that?
Okay. All right. What a way to soften the blow. Good afternoon, everyone.
Before we continue on with our topic, you know what we'd like you to do?
Like, share, subscribe, and favorite us on all of our platforms.
Please
all
leave
of
us
your favorite platforms. Excuse me.
Please leave comments on Instagram. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, and if you have a story you'd like to tell, email it to us at johncarter@mysteriesandbeliefspodcast.com. We can share your story on the show, or you can be on the show yourself. Now to probing by aliens. That's better?
I guess.
There's been a lot of stories recently about aliens. And as of late, there have been a lot of government agencies admitting to UFOs or what do they call them now? UBAs or something. There have been UFO sightings that go back as far as 1947, I think. Yeah, that's when the Roswell thing was 1947. Mm-hmm. But there was an actual story prior to that where the flying saucer came from. A little caveat to the story. You know the story about, what's his name, Harry Truman?
A little bit. When did she fill me in?
Well, Harry Truman was the one that supposedly signed a treaty with the aliens to abduct us.
Yeah.
This happened in 1954, Palm Springs, California. He was on vacation and he was supposed to show up to a public dinner, which he never made. He disappeared. He claimed that it was a dental emergency, but they said that he went to Edwards Air Force Base, I believe, out there in California, and met with these aliens and signed a treaty. Now, the thing about the treaty is aliens are allowed to abduct American citizens, but they'd have to return them back to where they picked them up. Isn't that nice?
That's so nice.
I know. Go ahead and take them, look up their butt. And it's just
not just their butt.
It's funny. I just don't want to focus on probing the buttocks, but that is a huge talk of the abduction world. Is that?
Where'd that even come from?
I don't know. Maybe it has happened before.
Right.
I have no clue.
Well, the guy that first reported it, didn't he say that's where they probed him?
When was this though?
The first guy, that him and was it his brother or his son? It's something like that. Remember?
And I've heard so many stories about alien abductions.
Yeah, and I think he's the one that said that they took him and it's been repeated and they keep probing him.
Bringing him and...
Yeah, anally.
Going up in his butt. I'm telling you.
First of all, what's America's obsession with butts?
I don't know. That's the only thing you hear.
I mean, probing, not with butts. I get butts, but...
Yeah, it's so weird of all the things that they could be doing to you, because when you go to a doctor's exam, you get all kinds of exams. I mean, you get your ears checked, your eyes checked, your throat, your mouth, and all that stuff. The only thing that people will remember is, you know, that stuck his finger up my butt.
Yeah,
they come back and tell you that story.
That's true. That's why a lot of people avoid going to the doctor for fear of being probed.
I know.
That's a thing.
When people see a spaceship or if they see a UFO and they come down and everybody's going to be holding their butt like, oh my God, they're going to come stick something up my butt.
But aliens, I would imagine that if they were curious, they would not just...
Well, no, they probably do a full exam.
Sure. Full meaning that's probably the part that they remember. Maybe they wake up and they feel violated. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Just like I mentioned moments ago.
Yeah.
You don't remember anything from your exam, but you remember that finger up your butt.
You definitely remember, and maybe that's like you said. You're right. That's I just can't even imagine. But here's the thing: why would they sign a treaty if they have that type of capabilities?
They can do it anyway.
They could do it anyway.
Maybe to prevent war, an act of war. If you kidnap people, they'll send police, right?
Sure.
So if we have a group of people from another world taking our people, maybe they fear that it's going to cause a big war.
So it's kind of like Star Trek. You know how they discover new worlds and make first contact? It's kind of like that, right? Where they're peaceful people and they don't want to shoot you for real.
We come in peace, but we want to look up your butt first.
Yeah, like what's Spock with the I'm doing my hand, but nobody can see it. Right. But nobody can see my hand. Anyhow, but you see what I'm saying? Maybe that's why. Because they're peaceful. However, they can lay the smackdown on you if they wanted.
The aliens?
Yeah, they could do it. But I think it's almost like archaeologists or something or researchers. They would mess up the
landscape.
The landscape. They would mess up things if they start a war. And you don't want to do that.
No, probably not. But
but does that make sense what I'm saying?
That does make sense. But if you look at it in this perspective, if you have some alien species that can travel like light years away to here, they may have weapons that will mess us up pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty bad.
And the only thing that we have is nuclear weapons.
I mean,
but what
technically, we don't really know, right? They might have weapons of mass destruction that we don't know.
You talking about the United States?
Yeah.
Or just in the world in general?
They probably got something up in the stars right now.
There's a possibility that, there's technology out there that not even a possibility. There is technology that we don't know as, just citizens of the earth. Yeah. But the whole topic is truly not going to be about alien probing your butt or anal probing.
I don't know. You seem obsessed with it.
But no, it's just alien abductions. And we've talked about alien abductions before with some of the big cases. And people forget about some of the things that actually happens during alien abductions. There are people that have been abducted that they've left like small devices in their arms or in their necks and in their head and things like that. There have been things that they say that was found in people that were metals that were not of this earth. The thing about that is most material that it's in the universe should be here on earth also.
Right.
So are they coming from another universe and they have things that we don't know, or metals and just material like chemicals and things like that we don't know about?
Plot twist. What if it's part of the multiverse and people are coming in from one dimension, coming back to ours and testing us to see if it's going to work in another dimension? People have found the little hole or the gateway to get in, and then they're trying it over here, and then they take it back and they go, oh, this is not going to work on Earth 1 or in the other. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, but you're talking about the multiverse. The multiverse is made up of universes are similar to ours.
You know what I'm saying? Parallel universe. That's what I mean.
No, but the laws of physics will be the same in parallel universes and multiverses. They would be the same. They would have to come from another universe, something totally different, because it have to go
Earth 1.
It would this is still
we
part
might be Earth.
I know you're talking about a copy of what we have, correct?
I'm talking about
so a copy would
a version.
It would be a version, but it would still have the same laws of physics. So we would have the same chemical and material. Right? It should be if it's a copy or it's a multiverse or it's a parallel universe. Cool. Now,
right.
If they come from another universe, that could be differences between our universe and their universe. So are they bringing something from their universe? Because as we know right now, there are no aliens in our universe that we can see, our perceivable or seeable universe. But we always talk about multiverses,
We
parallel
do.
universes, and different
They're probably
dimensions
we're
and
probably
things
getting on
like that.
people's nerves doing that,
But no, but everybody likes that.
not everyone.
Yeah, in this community of
You don't know.
paranormal and psychic
Mysteries.
stuff and mysteries, people love that because it is a
Not
mystery.
probably every time we get on the mic.
No, well, there are podcasts and things that talk about one thing, and
Okay,
they
I'm just telling you.
can fill a year's worth of stuff just on one topic.
Okay, but you're talking about someone like me who gets bored easy. I just wanted to bring up the plot twist that it could be a possibility. Maybe they're testing us somewhere else.
Okay,
And
there
they
you
go,
go. Now I
Lisa
get it.
One
So
is
this is what it is, because as we are right now, we only know what is in existence, right? Now, it could be that these dimensions or these parallel universes are in the future.
right.
That they've discovered other elements that we don't know about. Now you can come back and test it on us, check our butts and go, squirt this in our butt to see if we get allergic to it, whatever, or just test things on it. But
Squirt
it's
it
weird.
in our butt
I don't know. I don't know what they do. I haven't been abducted and
that you know
anal
of.
probed.
That you know of.
Yeah, that I know of. I don't know. I don't check my butt and stuff and see if there's been, something that's in there.
All
but
right, enough butt.
I think that if they've come back from the future, it's kind of odd. If they're in the future, they should already know what has happened.
Probably they know what happened and how we created damage to ourselves, and they're there to repair it.
To try to change it?
Yeah, to try to change the course of our own self-destruction and or nature. In order for them to exist and to continue living on. It's almost like, what do you call it?
But if they're coming from the future, they have already
but it might have changed the course. They could probably change it. Something may have happened.
Something went wrong at some point.
Something went wrong, yeah.
And they're coming back to.
Maybe they're dependent upon too many AIs. And they said something went wrong in year 2020, because this would be the year, right?
Yes, it would.
So they probably are saying, this is what happened. We have to go back and correct it. Something like, you know what I mean? They would have to come back and correct. But what's that movie? Is it The Matrix again?
Yeah, The Matrix.
Referring back to The Matrix.
With Keanu Reeves?
Yeah. Or what's the movie with Will Smith? The AIs took over?
Yeah, AI.
Listen, they probably trying to outsmart the AIs. I don't know. I'm just trying to, because so many people are obsessed with this probing thing. Every year, there's probably been 1 to 2 articles. Especially on the internet. If you even just Google it.
I was sleeping in my bed one night and they came and got me, and then I woke up and I think they had this rod up my butt.
Go into a wormhole.
It's always the stories are the same.
I remember, what was it? Was it on Unsolved Mysteries? Not Unsolved Mysteries. It was a show, and the lady, it was like real audio of the lady saying, and they came down. It's always in like backwoods. I won't name a state, but some like,
those are
rural area.
Yeah, those
which we're not far from, by the way. So we can relate, because you go to a mom and pop store, you're going to get a story or two.
Think about this. How come they don't just drop in New York somewhere and pick somebody up? I mean, but somebody would have seen them. All those people in New York, all those buildings, man.
It's New York. Do you think? Think about how numb they are to just
everything.
Life.
But yeah, I mean, the aliens could be walking down the street and they'd be like, "Yo, son, get out the way."
Yeah,
they don't even pay attention. They don't care. Like,
what are
boom.
you doing already?
No, they've probably been there and they've been bumped in New York and on the train. They were like,
"Wise
"No,
guy,
we're not going back there."
Wise guy.
So
I only got that accent for movies.
But I mean, why is it that people in more urban areas don't see the UFOs or claim to be abducted by UFOs.
Well, think about it. When we go to the city, are we looking?
No.
We're about our business.
Yeah, everybody's about our business. But I'm telling you, if there
and
was
why
something.
not? That's smart of them to do that way, unless you're in a dark alley.
No, I'm telling you, if there was some big ass spacecraft hovering, somebody would pay attention.
Well, there have
and
been
they'll
reports.
get a bunch of people to look.
There have been.
Now, if there's a beam of light coming down, picking somebody up, somebody's going to see it.
They don't do beams of light always. They'll nap you in the cornfield.
You know how they get them in New York?
Or in the dumpster.
Do you know how they get them in
the
New
alley.
York? No. You know how they get them in New York?
What? How?
The numbers in the bodegas. That's what it is. They come in and say, look, you won the number. You got to come down and get your ticket. Cash your ticket in the bodega.
Yeah.
So they start walking down to the bodega and then they disappear. Got you.
Geez.
Got him.
I don't like that. I like my alley story better. I feel like if you're in an alley,
you're just walking down the alley and they say, "Oh, yeah. Here you go, we got him."
It's almost like Men in Black, because they might already be dressed, or disguised as a human. You think you're walking an alley and dude's taking out the trash, but for real, you're about to be in that bag and he's going to nap you. And if there's a passerby, he's not going to know the difference. Would that be something that you'd pay attention to?
True. No,
it wouldn't be. I mean,
but I think something that
and then think about how noisy it is. How many horns do you hear per minute?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, New York is live 24/7. So
yeah,
I mean, like you said, they could be just among us and just pick us up.
It's probably stifling their game, though, considering COVID. They're the ones who
it's easier because they're masked. They have a mask on. They don't even have to wear a disguise.
Are people outside, just like in New York, like Times Square is dead?
I know, but they're not abducting people from just off of the street. They're abducting people from their cars. They're abducting people from their house and stuff like that. Now, I think you mentioned this earlier. You started talking about a story about somebody. I don't know if you said it on the mic or not, about a guy was talking about that they're already among us.
They're already among us, yeah.
I've heard countless numbers of stories about aliens and different types of beings that live here,
right?
Or claim to be living in or in this country or in our world. Why would you need to abduct anybody? Because look at it in this perspective. If you are settled as an alien, you can blend in. You don't even need to abduct anybody. You can set up a medical practice. People would pick you as a doctor. You take them in, do your little probing, and then they go home. Nobody knows the wiser.
They might be doing that. However, it could be the newer ones coming here already. This guy, I watched a couple of these videos, and he was saying that there were like 5 different species already here among us that don't know.
I know a few of them. There's the Greys. There's the Nordics.
No,
there's the reptilians. They walk
among us.
That's what I'm saying. These are the species.
So the Greys are acting as human?
The Greys. But yeah, they could be disguised themselves.
No,
but
that's not what their names were. The guy said the names of what their names are. And he said that, and it was, oh gosh, I wish I could find the video. He named all of it, and he said, I won't go into the whole video. It was on TikTok is where I found it. Anyhow, he said that they've been here for centuries. And basically what you said, you don't need to probe, really, because they're already here. It might be the newer ones or why people are getting stuck on that.
But how new could they be if this goes back as far as the 40s and 50s when people were abducted?
Centuries, he said. And and some are here. They don't even know that they are not human.
So are you referring to them being like thousands of years old, not just the newer ones would be
on Earth
within the last 50, 60 years?
Yeah, probably the newer ones, like you said, the Greys and all that. They might be new, because when this video was taken, it might have been like 50s or 60s, something. It was dated.
Okay.
And it was actual audio of the person naming who they are, and he was part of NASA. Each video I watch, if you go on the website and I can't remember what the girl typed in, oh, we should do that.
Do what?
We should just go and just type in random things and see what NASA pulls up. You know what I mean?
Well, are you
Because
referring to
it's public knowledge.
Are you referring to the astronauts seeing spaceships and all that stuff?
Anything.
I mean,
but I'm saying that's where she found it. So she showed the video, how she looked it up, and then she played the audio from it.
I know there's a lot of claims out there that
but this guy was an employee.
Astronauts are employees of NASA
sure, no,
and
I'm
the government.
Saying, I guess what I'm saying is that it was in the news and then it was validated that they are among us, basically. And it went over everyone's head. And my guess is because it's too, what's the word? And we may have mentioned this before, when it's right in your face, but because it's beyond your scope, you ignore, they're just, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
You know how you walk by something, you're like, I don't know what that, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't think
of
what
like
you're
when you
referring
see
to,
something in the sky and you go, oh, it's probably a plane. Only it's not. Like 10 other people saw, no, I saw a red thing with silver things around it. Whereas my mind, I only grew up with it having planes. So if I'm looking at it, I'm going, oh, it's probably a plane. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm more passive because it's nothing. So that's what I'm saying. The article was stating, basically her point is that there have been reports.
Yeah, your brain tries to make sense of what it sees.
Yeah. And so that your brain is cycling going, oh, that's what it is. Because that's just like what you and I do. If we hear random noise, we go, oh, it's probably this. We'll try to debunk a noise or, any sound. Well, noise, sound, same thing. But you see what I'm saying.
But when it comes to alien abductions, though, on the same topic of UFOs, people have sightings of USOs. People have sightings of UFOs, but being abducted by aliens, that's something different. And a topic that we talked about before, the Hat Man and the Shadow People, that they believe that the alien abductions coincide with the Hat Man.
I remember that. We did talk about that.
I mean, is the Hat Man...
No.
Is the Hat Man the
no.
primary doctor or the chief medical officer of the, of the aliens or something like that? He's just coming to observe.
He's working for
He's working for a big health organization. That's what it is. Giving out, orders to probe them. I know.
Probe.
But that's what everyone talks about.
They do talk about
Everybody talks about. I mean,
well, not just probing in their defense, even though that's what we're talking about, but they do talk about time lapse. And
even another topic that we talked about before is, if I put you under anesthesia, you look at your watch and I put you under anesthesia at 1 o'clock and your ass wakes up at 6 o'clock that evening.
Yeah.
You're missing time.
You're missing time for sure.
Because the last time you looked at your watch was 1.
Yeah, that's true. You know what's kind of cool is I like when they do the videos or the movies where, and this is kind of off topic, when they do the alien scene and they get abducted and then years have gone by and the person comes back and they still look the same. They still look the same and they're still wearing time period gear, whether it's in the 70s or what have you. And they go knocking on the door.
And he opens the door and they're there. A good explanation for that is, if you were to be abducted by an alien craft that can surpass the speed of light or can cause a ripple in space. I've heard a topic which was very good about this is, when you travel your GPS in a car or whatever, and your GPS gives you the quickest route.
Right.
And anything that we go by on the earth is the quickest route is a straight line. Right. So if you were to do a straight line, you would get to a place much quicker than you would what the GPS says, because you have roads that go around, lights, and you just can't go through people's houses and things like that.
Right.
Now, space-time, that's not true. In space-time, the quickest way is to bend space.
In time, yeah.
And
Or
that's
space, rather.
and that's not a straight line.
Right.
So as far as we know, we can't go faster than light. But if you have a species of people
The
that are
Flash gun.
able to bend space time,
Yeah.
so what happens is as you move away from this earth, time goes slower for you, but our time stays the same.
Right.
So when you actually return, it could have been 20 years, as like you said,
Right.
has passed by.
Yeah.
But it's because of the space time. So that may be, because you said that's off topic, but that is a good topic, because that that probably happened to these people in these movies, or some of these people that end up missing, and they said they came back and they look the same.
Right. Yeah. Anyhow, I wanted to say, since we're close to the holidays, or we are in the holiday season, people
This week?
travel and they're going on these dark first of all, can you imagine driving? What's that long road that we're on when we're in Arizona? What's that long road? And it always looks like the moon's following us.
Highway 10.
Highway 10.
If you talking about from Arizona going over to California?
From Vegas to, oh yeah, one of them.
Yeah, because that road, that I think that would be a little bit more what you're referring to is
where the elk are. I don't know. Where they always have the elk sign.
Yeah, because when you go through, you can go from Arizona to California,
right?
Or let's start from Vegas. From Vegas to California, you hit Highway 10. And then, you go to the mountains and you go through these like areas where it's dark as shit out there. You remember?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the moon follows you. That's the only light that you have. My point is that it's the holiday season. This is when people report going missing because they were supposed to report, to their parents' house or,
report or show up.
You know what I'm saying? The college kid coming back or single lady traveling by herself. And then they go missing and then people don't know where they are. I don't know. I didn't see the end of this news story, but this just happened. Not just, within the last year or so. The guy that was driving, was it Arizona also? He was driving and he called and said his car broke down or he needed gas or what have you. And the police got him, picked him up and took him to a gas station. He told his family where the car was. They were driving around, couldn't find his car anywhere. His car was gone off the road, could not find it.
The aliens took his car?
Yeah, so here's the thing. So the officer leaves him there and, he's waiting, I guess, for his family. Dude doesn't show up. They can't find him. He goes missing too. When they find him, all of his organs are taken out. They have footage of him at the gas station, at the convenience store, and he's gone. So I didn't get to follow up with the story, but if you YouTube it, man with organs gone.
So wait a minute. So
I don't know if that has anything to do with aliens. I'm just telling you.
Hold on. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So his car broke down.
Yeah.
The police picked him up.
Yeah, he ran out of gas.
So the police saw his car.
Yeah, I saw him.
Also.
Yeah.
And they took him to the gas station to get gas.
They picked him up. I don't know if they were taking him to get gas.
Or it's either he was out of gas or his car actually was broken.
His car was out of gas for sure. And he communicated to his family that his car was out of gas.
So they took him to the gas station.
Yeah.
And from the gas station, he disappeared.
They took him. They went to go back to the car.
So hold on. The family.
The officer.
Hold on. The family went to take him back to his car, or the police officer?
The police officer did. And him and the police officer could not find his car. They don't know where it is. They don't know what happened to the car.
So, and he was in the car with the police officers?
Yes. And the car was gone.
And then what did the police officers do with him afterwards?
Dropped him off at the convenience store.
They
took him back.
And they took him back, and from there he ended up missing.
He ended up missing.
And then his entrails were outrails.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what that means. I'll have to Google it, but yeah.
So no, that just
all insides.
His organs were taken out.
They were gone. So I didn't.
So hold on, they were gone.
They were gone. They were missing. He's dead, but his insides are gone.
And they just left him on the side of the road.
He wasn't found on the side of the road. He was found. I don't even know how much longer he was found, but they could not find him, and they only saw him on camera footage at the store. That was it.
See?
He's gone missing.
Now, that's an issue. We should take that up with the government. because they signed a treaty, no harm, to come to our people and drop them off where you picked them up at. See?
There might be. Well, and I could be far off, but that was an interesting story. I fell asleep on it because those are the stories I listen to trying to put me back to sleep. So if you guys YouTube it, don't blame me if the story goes, oh, well, I saw a news article and it said they found him. And they didn't. I remember hearing it, that they did not find him for a while, and his family wants answers.
Answers to who's going to
who took
answer?
His body? Yeah, who's going to answer it? I don't know, but they want the police officer to answer it. I'm sure. Like, why did you drop him off?
If he's a grown ass man and he wanted to go back to the store,
I think he did him a favor.
Yeah, I mean, because he didn't really have to take him back and forth.
No, he didn't. But would you leave some? I think it's your civic duty.
Yeah, civic duty, but you took him somewhere where he should have been safe.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you're right.
So
what happened?
Yeah, it's
worth looking into. I mean, if nothing else, if you're into murder mystery like myself.
Well, I mean, they could sue the government because if they did sign the treaty, just like I said, hey,
and we're not making fun. Seriously, I mean, if I were the family member, and I mean, he was young too, maybe 20 something. He was driving from Vegas. That's where he was driving from, and yeah.
I wonder how the organs were taken out, if they were taken out medically, because there have been lots of cases.
Are you gonna?
No, people have been abducted, not by aliens, but abducted by people to take their organs.
Yeah.
Take their hearts, their liver, their kidneys.
Back in the day.
No, but I'm not just talking about. I'm talking about real life.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. In real life, they used to send email warnings. You didn't get the email
to go to from other countries or go to other countries? No,
they said be careful if you get this invite, or they say you won something. They would just put out warnings, and they'll say, because
you end up in a hotel and
you're in the tub of ice.
Yeah,
and you wake up. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, people out there, and maybe that area like in Mexico and all those places, because Arizona and that area is all close to Mexico,
right?
And some of these people that take organs, you know what I mean, harvest the organs, could have just saw him by himself, and they said, perfect opportunity.
He's healthy.
Yep, healthy young man.
That's
whatever.
Unfortunate. I feel so bad. I can't imagine someone doing that to my baby boy. I will burn down the whole convenience store and the police department. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that.
But
I'm just saying, don't touch my baby.
Out there, in the middle of the desert, there's no cameras or anything at all. So
right, so it would make it easier.
There's no evidence. Yeah, it'd make it much easier to do.
It's really unfortunate story, to say the least. But my point was, and rest in peace, and my condolences to the family. My point is that it's holiday season. And if you
be careful,
be careful, be vigilant, and because you could.
Yeah, most people aren't traveling anyway because of
for nothing
the virus.
Else. Be careful. That's just the general rule. What I'm saying is that it happens a lot of time during the holidays. That was all. That was my whole long drawn out story to say that it is the holiday season. This is when people like to travel by themselves, and things happen. So even if you don't believe in aliens, listen, just be careful. So.
With that being said, the holiday season, what's the star that was there when Jesus was born?
Bethlehem.
Well, that's not the town. The star.
Yeah, the star.
If anybody knows, tell me. I don't remember the name of the star, but there are also speculations that star was a UFO when Jesus was born.
Because it's like how in Star Trek, remember when their ship got stuck above that?
Yeah.
That the world, and then he kept coming down, and the people down there were aging, and he was staying the same, and you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, and that goes way, way back when people, even
the Star of Bethlehem. I'm looking it up.
Oh, that's
said to have appeared in the constellation of Aquila.
Another biblical thing that they have a lot of pictures, and hieroglyph and all that stuff of aliens, and even medieval times, they're paintings with things that look like spaceships and helicopters and stuff in the background.
Right.
Another story that's another speculation is when Moses parted the Red Seas. that aliens were following them, keeping them safe. And when they crossed the sea, that it wasn't just the water being parted by Moses and God, that these crafts did it.
Oh, neat.
Because I may have mentioned this before, but I'm not 100% sure, because that's what they do when you're looking for someone in the water.
Right.
So they send divers and stuff down. And if the divers can't find whatever or a person that's probably or possibly in this water, they send a helicopter. And what
Right.
the helicopter does is as it
parts the
flies
water.
over, it displaces the water so you can see underneath.
Right.
And this is what they were referring to that may have happened, that when they parted the Red Sea, it wasn't, an act of God, that it was an alien ship that parted the seas. And when day became night, they were flying over top of them to keep them in shade as they were traveling through the desert.
Nice. I have a story for you. I have a theory.
For me or for the people?
Everybody.
For everybody to share. So do share.
Santa's an alien.
Next story.
I'm serious. Before we go, Santa is an alien. He's in the North Pole. He has these little elves. They're probably not really elves. They're probably grays. I'm trying to tell you a story. I'm serious. He's probably an alien. Why does he have this list of good kids? Then he goes down people's chimneys, drops off toys, only he's probably not. He's probably probing you and then leaving. And then as a thank you, you leave him cookies and milk. We would probably leave him a craft beer, nice IPA, along with some pretzels and peanuts. I'm just saying.
Okay, everybody out there. I'm not
come on.
I'm not with this story.
Something. Come on, North Pole. What's out there? Santa's out there. What human do you know? And he has a flying sleigh. I'm on to something that's a UFO. Listen, and he only comes when you're asleep. And then you wake up. You have presents. And as a thank you, he's giving you presents.
Again, people,
I'm
as
serious.
a disclaimer, I do not condone or...
Years have gone by and the stories got twisted. It's a sleigh, but before it's probably a UFO. It's probably the red flying saucer, or the silver one. I don't know where they got red.
I don't take responsibility of the stories told by the guest.
It is.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I don't even have no comment for that one.
Okay.
All right.
I am right.
Hey,
Where did the story come from?
Hey.
Old Saint Nick is...
Hey, guys out there. If you've heard that story before...
Because Saint Nick was a real guy, right? But they had to size the story up. Where to get the flying sleigh.
That wasn't an origin story of Santa Claus.
Why is he in a flying sleigh? And the deer, how do they fly?
Hey, guess what?
I'm asking, how'd the story, where'd they come up with all these great things? And why are they elves?
Magic.
Why he ain't had no kids? He got Miss Claus and everything.
And them little elves could be his kids.
Guys, I'm serious. I'm on to something. John's hating because I am on to something.
How about this?
We'll
get back to you on that one.
Props. Come on.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Hater.
With aliens and abductions and probing, anal probing, and all that stuff.
Which we really didn't talk about, which I'm kind of happy about. You didn't talk about anuses the entire time?
No, I said I didn't want to talk about anuses the whole time. But I really honestly believe that there are other species on other worlds. It may not be to where there are species that are like us. There's life somewhere else besides here. Our universe is vast. There are tons of planets. There are planets that we can't even see. And you tell me that we're the only thing that has ever existed in this universe?
Nah.
Close to 14 billion years?
Right.
We are the only thing that's ever existed?
On another note, not to jump off subject again, but you brought up Star of Bethlehem. There's a lot of news stories about the Star of Bethlehem and how you can see it and where it came about and the constellation. Of course, it's biblical, but I mean, in general, that's how most of us heard about it. But it's a thing where you can look it up and see if you are able to see the Star of Bethlehem. So
On Christmas?
On Christmas. I think it's the day before. So
I know, but he wasn't born on Christmas.
No,
though.
he wasn't. That's not the point. Y'all
I
look it
know.
up. You can YouTube it. It is a thing, just like alien probing is a thing, apparently. So
Tell me, where does that come from? You guys, leave a comment. Let
Yeah.
me know where this anal probe thing comes from. I really, honestly, truly want to know, why is that the only story
So
that
what do they
goes
do when
around?
they get in there? Honestly, what do they do? Is it like a wand or?
Women have vaginal ultrasounds, and they put a probe up there
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I
that's
said
probably
a wand.
the same thing. They
So
put
it's an ultrasound, but for your butt.
Yeah, they probably see more because if their technology
But
is,
I thought they
is
take
better than
tissue
ours,
samples.
they may. It's easy. Just go up there and just snatch a little piece out your butt and
And
then
they
put it in
a
a jar.
tracker thing in your butt.
And they can't detect it.
And you can't detect it. And that's if they need to come back and get you. It's probably the international hub of aliens, and all the ones that were down here, it's one in charge of the different species, and they're coming kind of like we do with animals. We
Tag them.
tag and release. That's probably what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's like a tag and release.
That may be. That may be
Trying to tell
true.
y'all, man.
That may be true.
Let me tap my head like this, like y'all don't know, y'all be knowing.
That may be true because people claim that they have been abducted multiple times. People even say hundreds of times they've been abducted. They keep getting them.
What's that movie where it goes, oh, here we go again?
I mean, come on, man.
There's so many.
If they've already examined you, why are they going to keep examining you again? It's just like
you might have the
it. You have the it factor.
You might have it. It is a thing too. And this is the last thing I'll say, and then you guys can join in the conversation if you'd like. But you know how they took the DNA samples of the one African tribe and the lady that the family ended up suing to get because they kept her DNA? It's the same thing. You know what I'm talking about. There's a tribe in Africa where there's one certain where everybody comes from or what have you. It's a thing, guys. I'm serious. I'm not articulate enough at the moment to tell you about it, but it's where we came from basically, right? And they have samples of the DNA and people that come from that. What's her name? That was in Black Panther, Lupita.
Mm-hmm.
Her, wherever she's from, there's only 2 tribes or something. That's where they say life began. I'm serious. And then remember, what's the what's the hospital in Maryland? What's the
John Hopkins?
John Hopkins. Isn't that where they took that lady's DNA, the black lady's DNA? The family sued, but she's the one that had the cure in her DNA to make lots of cures for different medications and things like that.
And this is a real story.
I promise it's a real story. You Google it. I promise you it's real. Because they've been using her samples.
Okay.
So my point is to circle back and button it up. It's probably not just probing, and that's what they're doing. Tag and release. That's how they're tagging and releasing.
What I'm going to have you do is search that story so we can get a link. If you can find that story, that would be great to get a reference to that. Okay. But back to aliens. I mean, it's been centuries. I mean, it goes back to the beginning of time with aliens and people claiming to be abducted. And
if you have, call us.
To me, it's just like if you are abducted, I mentioned this at the beginning, I believe that you're just getting a physical exam. That's it.
No judgment. Just
because, if they had some malicious intent, they could just take you and kill you.
Or they could be like invaders of the body snatchers, and we're all...
They could kill you. I mean,
call and then make that noise.
So, I mean, we don't know. The government has come out with a lot of stories of sightings of the UFOs, right. Or UAVs or whatever they call them now. So there are existence beyond us. And I think the government already knows about it. And they're giving us small increments of information to a big buildup.
Yeah.
So at some point where it gets to the point where the aliens say, look, we're just going to come on down. Now we're desensitized to it. See, I told you already that we already had aliens here.
Yeah.
I told you. That's what the government's going to say. I told you we had aliens. You didn't believe us. You didn't believe the government. And then you have all the people that they consider conspiracy theorists going, I told you there's other worlds out there or other species out there, and they're among us. And then they have a huge press conference with the Greys. They have the reptilians. They have the Nordics and the people from Alpha Centauri and all these other places.
Right.
Instead of rambling on and on and on. So what are your thoughts about, I don't want to say anal probing again.
Only you did.
What are your thoughts and what are they doing and what are they looking for when they abduct people?
Are you asking me or asking them?
I'm asking them. So guys, drop us a line. Let us know. I want to know if you know. And if you've been abducted, that's a nice story. I mean, that's a good story. Tell us about the story. Come on down. I've heard a lot of alien abduction stories. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of documentaries and things like that on these subjects. You have your own personal story? Tell us. So thank you guys for listening to the show. If you're still listening to this point, we're going to wrap this thing up. Seriously, if you do have a story to tell and you'd like to be a part of the show, you can always email it to us at johncarter@mysteriesandbeliefpodcast.com. You can share it with us on a Facebook group, mysteriesandbeliefpodcast.com. You can always hit us up on Instagram. So we're trying to get some comments. We're trying to get some activity and not activity. What's the other word I'm trying to think of? Some response. Let's get some responses from you guys out there. Anything else that you'd like to add to this?
Bye.
And
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we probably won't have anything post up. And Merry Christmas to you.
I can outro it with a song.
And all of yours.
Oh, no.
Till next time. What's the song? I can't even think of. Silent Night.
By The Temptations.
The Temptations.
That's the only real song.
Yes. Until next time, guys. And Nat King Cole. That's my song. I got to listen to that every single Christmas. But truly, guys, Merry Christmas. Until next year. I'll probably have something posted by next year.
But if not, Happy New Year. Until next 2021. Live long and prosper. Don't live until Fridays. As you can see, most of our days are running together. That's on a serious note.
Until next time, guys. Peace.
Many New